I'm like flabbergasted. I don't know where my book went. But I own, like, I bought it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. You know, this time, I'm not even going to give you one of those, like, disclaimers, like, oh, I'm gonna get back into posting consistently. Because I always say that, and then, like, it's never the truth. So, you know what, I'm going to post as much as I can, when I can, but I think most of you know, YouTube is not, like, my number one platform. My number one platform is Instagram. That's where I'm most active. I always say, like, I'm gonna get back to posting YouTube consistently, but YouTube, like, takes a lot longer to make the content, edit it, and that's just me being 100% transparent. Like, I'm not complaining. This is just transparency. I always try to be as transparent and honest as possible on platforms, but I will post when I can. So this video is going to be another one of the, like, weather forecasts. Like, these are my most anticipated reads for the next 2 months. This is what I have pre-ordered. That if you're looking for my recommendation of what to pre-order, this is what that is. Now, I did skip May intentionally. May, there was like only one book that came out that I was actually interested in, and that is A Crane Among Wolves by June He. She's also the author of The Red Palace. I pre-ordered this. I read this as an ARC and I loved it. So this was my only recommendation for May, so it didn't feel right to make a whole video about May when I only had one book to recommend. So this video is just gonna be June and July. But if you were looking from what my recommendation for May was, it was A Crane Among Wolves. So now we're gonna go through June and July. I don't have a ton for July either. I have like maybe one or two books for July, but we're just gonna go through it. I do have a good amount for June. So buckle in, get your notepads out. Here is what I'm recommending for the month of June. Starting with June 4th is The God and the Gumho. I'm so sorry. I'm definitely pronouncing this wrong. So please accept my apology. I actually just reviewed this on my TikTok, so you'll see a video of me in the same outfit holding this book up talking about it in my May wrap-up. I just read this, 4 stars. I love Sophie Kim's writing. She wrote Lost of the Talons, which is one of my favorite books, and I'm eagerly awaiting the 3rd book for. This book, I think, is her adult book, whereas Lost of the Talons is YA. You could say it's enemies to lovers. I kind of describe it more as rivals to lovers because they aren't actively trying to kill each other. But that's like a conversation for another time, like what we classify as enemies to lovers. Anyway, I love that dynamic between the two characters in this book. Their banter, their wit. It's so incredibly entertaining to read. I read this over the course of 2 nights. Can't recommend it enough. And then the last book coming out on June 4th is 4 Eves and a Funeral. I actually have not read this book yet, but I have the ARC. And obviously it's a Muslim book, so I'm eager to read it and see how it is. And then obviously I'll let everyone know how it is. But that is on my radar and what I pre-ordered for June 4th. The first book is Hearts That Cut, which actually I already have my copy. Hearts That Cut is the sequel, holding a lot of things here, to Threads That Bind. This book is out June 4th, and you may or may not see some content from me coming out that I'm very excited to share. If you saw on my other platforms, I love Threads That Bind. It's a Greek mythology retelling. In a way, a lot of Greek mythology tellings haven't been done before. And Hearts That Cut, I think I read this, like, I got my ARC very soon after I finished the first book. And I think this series is simply brilliant. Like, if I had to pick one word to describe it, the word is brilliant and extremely underrated. Nobody talks about this series, and it is so good. The characters, the action, it's fast-paced. The love interest, his background is Egyptian inspired, and I am Egyptian. I was living for every moment of this book. Incredible duology. Can't recommend it enough. And the last book I have on my radar, also on June 18th, is Of Jade and Dragons. I have an ARC of this somewhere in this TBR stack on my right. This is, I think, a East Asian inspired fantasy. I don't know too much off the top of my head. I just know I have it pre-ordered and I have an ARC. And then in July, my very short list for July's first book is on July 2nd, On the Bright Side by Anna Sorrentino, I want to say her last name is. I have one of her other books somewhere on my shelf. Maybe. I could have sworn I had her book. Am I? Do I not have her book? Hello? I'm like having a crisis. I could have sworn I bought this book. You guys see it? Huh? Did it fall? I feel like I'm losing my mind because I could have sworn I just saw the book. Her other book is called Give Me a Sign. And I know I bought it. So where'd it go? What? I'm sorry, I'm actually like sometimes I put misplaced books, but I genuinely like saw it the other day on this shelf. Like, I'm not. Hello? This is where I keep my contemporaries. Where is my contemporary? No, don't fall. What? Okay, you know what? You're just gonna have to take my word for it because I don't know where the book went. But I own her other book on Give Me a Sign. I don't know where it went. It should be here. What? Okay. Nobody touches my books. I'm like flabbergasted. I don't know where my book went. But I own, like, I bought it. What? You know, I'm gonna look for it later and update you guys when I find it, because what the heck? You guys, I found it. I was looking in the wrong shelf. Here it is. Anyway, the author's other book, On the Bright Side, is coming out on July 2nd. I read an arc of this. I will be 100% honest, I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Give Me a Sign, but it's still a solid read. I think I gave it like 3 stars, which isn't bad. By the way, 3 stars is not a bad rating. And, where's that? I don't know where my book went. And coming out on June 18th is another Muslim book, If I Loved You Less by Amana. She is also the author of books like Lady and the Lion and When a Brown Girl Flees. Took me a minute to remember. This one is another one I have pre-ordered. This one is like, I think, a Jane Austen vibe type of romance contemporary, which I love a good romance, especially an Austen type romance, so I am so excited. And that is what is on my release radar for June and July. Let me know down below if you are getting any of these or if you have any other books you think should be on my radar. And that is it for today's video. I'll see you next time and I'll go look for this book. Bye guys!